Alright, we are going to begin this makeup with the application of orange highlight number 2 under the eyes to eradicate any of the darkness that we see here. And I'm going to take yellow highlight, special yellow highlight we call it, and apply our special yellow highlight into the very deepest recesses of those same areas to pull those areas forward, as well as here and here to pull that forward. Put a little here, the temple, here, a little right here, like so, a little here, put a little right here at the bridge of the nose, a little here and here, go down into this area here. And we may want to lift the cheekbones a bit. At the same time, knock down some of the freckles in those areas. We'll lift the cheekbones here, just like that. Nose looks very good. There might be one little depression right there that we could pull up slightly, just like that. All right, now we're going to go to our base application. And for our base application, I am going to select a color that is going to be pretty close to her actual tone, and it's a very light color, and it's called Alabaster. And this particular color, Alabaster, is our salon, better known as our society makeup. And you can see it's just a little bit darker than her. It's in the same general, has the same general feeling as her overall skin tone. And I'm going to apply this makeup by pressing my sponge like so against the surface of the makeup. I'm going to lift her head like so and apply this in outward strokes on one side of the neck like that. We'll work up the face this way, up and out. Now where there is lanugo hair, we pay very close attention to not interfere with that lanugo hair. We don't want to apply too much makeup to it. Lightly go through it, and since this makeup base is very close to the actual color of her skin, we're going for a natural look. We don't have to worry too much about having the lanugo hair darken. And you notice how I'm patting the highlights and allowing the highlights to remain where they are at the same time as I'm applying the actual makeup base. And when we get around to where we've already applied the highlights, we will pat the makeup base to those areas, just like that, to stabilize it, and to keep the base right where we want it. You don't work too much makeup up into the hairline. You blend it off prior to its getting into the hairline. And if you've selected the right makeup base, as we have in this case, there should be no problem. And you see it takes very little of this makeup to accomplish good coverage. The makeup works. It's not like working with liquid makeup where you have to keep piling it on and adding more and more to it in order to get it to do anything. This makeup actually does what you want it to do, so you don't need very much of it. In fact, if you put your sponge over the makeup, look up for me, if you put your sponge, or rub your sponge over the makeup container, you will pick up, close your eyes, entirely too much makeup base. So you want to only pat your sponge, and you tell your client to only pat her sponge on the surface of the makeup base. Keep your eyes closed. All right, we're going to go over a few other areas here with a little bit more of our special yellow highlight to make sure that we eradicate any darkness under the eyes permanently. You may also, if you have great difficulty covering under the eyes, you may also find the tattoo cover number 1 a very effective means of facilitating coverage in this area. Very next step is to take, now I'm not going to cover all of the freckles, I'm going to keep a nice natural look here. And we're going to put a little bit of our Atlas white powder under or on top of all of the highlighting. Now when we apply our powder to our puff, we have our puff like so, and we very gently sprinkle some of the powder onto the surface of the puff like that. And then you take your thumb and you actually work the powder into the puff with your thumb, like so. And ask your patron to look up and very gently take and pat the Atlas white powder onto the areas that you have highlighted. All right, and I'm going to take a little bit of our taupe eyeshadow, and I'm going to apply some taupe eyeshadow under the cheekbone like that, under the jawline like that, and under this cheekbone like that, under this jawline like so. And you will see that the shadow creates a very deep look under the bone. All right, you can work this forward. Then you'll come back with your powder puff and work this down. And you do exactly the same thing under both sides of the jawline, just like so. And with your powder puff, subdue it. You might take and throw a little bit of shadow at the very end of the nose, to cut the end of the nose if you like. You might want to do a little shadow at the temples here and here to cut down on this area a bit. She has very good sculpting in her nose. She doesn't need anything on her nose. And at this point we're going to take a little bit of some rose cheek color, and I'm going to ask her to smile for me. That's it. And we're going to throw a little rose color to her cheeks right here. This is the apple of the cheek. When you smile, give me a big smile. See that? That's the apple. You never want to bring your cheek color in any closer than the outside of the imaginary line that runs up and down through the center of the pupil. Big smile. And then you take that color and you work it up over the zygomatic bone, over the cheekbone like that. And then we'll come back and we will tone it down again with our powder puff, and you put a little powder over it to make it look as though it's coming from within. Now we're going to do one method of eye makeup that requires the use of a wet brush, and we recommend the actual Society highlighting and shading brush, and there's an eyeliner brush also. In this case I'm going to use the wedge brush. You would recommend this brush as the wedge brush to your client. And I'm going to take the actual wedge brush, dip it down into some water, and transfer the water onto some eyeshadow. And I'm going to apply the eyeshadow to the lower lash line and then the upper lash line. Now this color that I'm using is warm brown, very dark warm brown. I want you to look up. I'm going to take my fingers and just rub them across the eye like so. I want you to look way up for me. I'm going to lay this right along the lower lash line like this. And we're going to give her a very voguey, current fashion makeup of the day. And I need you to close your eyes now. And I'm going to apply this also along the upper lash line like so, and along the depression in the eye like this. Alright, now I'm going to clean all of the makeup out of the brush. And you clean all the makeup out of the brush by dipping it up and down in water, dunking it up and down in water, then taking a tissue and blending it like this. Look straight at the camera and lift your chin a little bit for us. That's it. Now look down a bit. And I'm going to take this brush and blend everything that I've done so far so that it is all muted and softly blended and following the contours that her eyes create. We're now going to take our liner brush, and that is a very fine liner brush, and we're going to put a little of the black cake eyeliner onto the brush. Look down to the left. And as she looks down to the left, we're just going to apply this liner right above the lashes like so. We utilize a very dark, very, very thin band of black immediately along the lashes, both upper and lower if you like, for a very striking look. And you work that right into and onto the actual lashes themselves, because sometimes the makeup has a tendency to get onto the lashes, and the only way that you can get the makeup off of the lashes is to actually take some eyeliner and work it right onto the actual lash itself. Because you can't get sometimes a mascara wand down onto the lashes. And I'm going to take this black and I'm going to connect it now at the outer corner. Okay, now I'm going to clean the makeup out of the brush, and I'm going to go back over this and blend this so that we have, look down, a very smudged out, soft, black liner rather than a hard line or hard edge. Now you can leave that hard edge a little bit from the middle of the eyelid down into the corner, but blend it out from the middle to the outer corner. Apply some of this brown, as we ordinarily would, to the lower lashes. Now she has some exceptionally long lower lashes. They're really very beautiful. She has a great face for modeling and for acting. Very good face. Black mascara can be applied to the upper lashes. And we'll do this first. It is absolutely amazing how much the eyes come to life when the mascara is applied or when artificial eyelashes are applied. And you have to apply your mascara very carefully so that you don't get it into the person's eye, of course, and that you don't glue or gunk all the lashes together. You utilize the brush that comes with the wand. And you can actually take your finger too, look down, and do this and just work your finger through the lashes and then rebrush them. Look straight ahead. And I always like sometimes to take a little of the black and touch it to the outer lower lashes. And I'm going to take a little of this burgundy color onto a dry brush, and I'm going to lay this tissue right along the line of the eye like so. Close your eyes for me now. And I'm going to lay some of this burgundy carefully onto the eye, allowing tissue to collect any of the dust and also to create a nice sharp line here at the outer corner that we can blend. So you'll see that when I pull this away, there will be a sharp line there. See that we can leave that way or we can blend. Now we'll take a sponge, and this is another thing that the sponges are great for. You can teach your clients to actually cut their sponges. And these sponges can be cut very, very tiny, like so, and you can put little points on them. And these can be utilized as applicators. And we'll take this and blend out the shadow. I'm going to soften that line a little here. And we'll blend out the shadow here, which is really an eye color. It is so dark that it really could classify or be classified as an eye shadow, depending on how it's being used. And what's so great about utilizing these little sponges like this is that you can use them like erasers. You can work with erasing and lifting and adding and whatnot, and utilize it just as an applicator. Now we're going to look at our eyebrows very quickly, and we're going to brush our eyebrows up in the typical style for high fashion makeup like this. And we'll brush these up like that, just like that, just to see what we're creating here. And I'm going to take now one of those little sponges, and I'm going to rub some of the silver or the pearl eye color onto it. And I'm going to take that and apply this pearl to the skin right under the arch of the eyebrow, like so. And look down. And I'm going to throw a little bit of this into the very inner corner of the upper eyelid to produce just a little highlight there. Look straight ahead, just like that. And then I'm going to take another piece and just blend it a bit so that it's not so blatant. You can put greens in here, and fuchsias, and all different colors that we've got, strawberry tones and whatnot, depending on what kind of wardrobe is being worn. We're just doing a very natural kind of dramatic makeup here to show you what can be done with this. And I'm going to paint in eyebrows with this brush the same way that I would if I were working with fine line pencil. Now, actually, with this technique, you can paint it in and not really get real fine lines. What you get is a softer look. You see how you're actually working at it. You're applying and blending and smudging at the same time so that you're filling in the area without adding absolute definite lines to the eyebrow. All right, now to keep those eyebrows up, there's one product here that we do not manufacture, and it's called the old-fashioned duo adhesive, okay? And with an eyebrow brush, we will brush them up like so, just like this. And we'll take that little sponge again, touch a little bit of the duo adhesive to the sponge, and then very lightly touch a little of the duo to the eyebrows while they are still standing up, and instantly they will remain standing up because the duo adhesive dries very, very quickly. And you can do that to the rest of the eyebrow as well to maintain it either in a softly rounded lying down pattern or by brushing the brows up quickly after you've applied the rubber to them. You can get them to stand up. Now when you're applying our lip color, you of course always recommend that they use a lip color brush and part your lips. They must always part their lips. You must always put your finger under their lower lip to balance and to keep their lower lip stable. And then with your brush, you actually do fill in the very bottom of the lip first, like so. And you can fill in a little more of the lip, open a little wider now. And you can follow along. We'll go for a natural look here. Follow along the natural border of the lip. She's got a real nice lip line actually. Working with the side of your brush so that the actual side of your brush is what is forming the lip line as you drag the brush along the edge of the lip. And we've got now the upper lip to do. You can start by filling in a little bit on the inner side like that. Get a feel of the upper lip. And we can do the cupid bow here, like so. You can actually come up and down all the way and then go to the outer corner, lay your brush flat, and come up to meet what you have done, just like that. Now you can, at the outer corner here, create a little bit of a smile effect by raising and not going right down into the depth of the outer corner, but by actually stopping short or going and ending a little higher than where the corner dictates. Now, as far as lip gloss is concerned, it would be put in the very center here, here, and here. I would put a gold kind of color on her, and I'd put it right in the very center there to emphasize the powdiness, and that would pull that lip out a little bit more. Either a little bit of a gold color, or you could take some of this actual silver. You could take the silver, either silver eye color, or a little bit of the silver lip gloss, open your mouth wide, and you put a dot of it right in the very center like that. Close your mouth. And then you blend the lipstick around it, and you allow, smile for me now, and open your mouth, smile. That's it. And you can allow that to remain a little bit shiny in the very, very center of the lower lip, and a little, open real wide now, and a little shinier, perhaps right here. You can go with gold or you can go with silver, either way, but since we put silver in her eyes, I've chosen to put a little bit of silver also in her lips. And I'm going to darken the cheeks just a little here. And you can do overall more color, and we can actually take a little bit of the translucent powder and go. I'm just going to put a little more accentuation under that cheekbone. A little more accentuation under that cheekbone, like that. This, by the way, is I'm shading under the cheekbones with the warm brown eyeshadow, or actually, yeah, that is the eyeshadow, it's not an eye color. And blending it with my finger and with a sponge. She has some lanugo hair, so you got to be careful that you don't allow the shadow to build up into lanugo hair. Okay, here you see the makeup at a little closer angle. Turn your head just a little bit to your left for us. Smile for us. There. Now a little to your right. Okay, and look right to the camera. And this is a very soft, very acceptable makeup that is on the fringes of being high fashion, but in a natural way. And we could put a lot of very fancy colors, fuchsias and blues and greens and deeper shades of blues and greens onto the eyelids to make it more colorful, but this is an acceptable, natural, high fashion look. Everything is very well blended and blended together. And we're going to come in a little tighter now.